Continuamos con la llamada de Cthulhu. Recién escapamos del manicomio y despertamos en la mansión. Creo que fuimos rescatados por Bradley.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day's only starting. It's fine.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
No tengo suficientes puntos en ocultismo.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
Ay, cállate, Colden.
He's right. We can't ignore the truth.
But it could drive her mad.
Better madness than ignorance. Very well.
Okay.
I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Al menos Bradley está vivo y Bradley me cae mejor. Esta vieja no.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Yo no sé cómo es que estás vivo. No recuerdo, creo que nunca lo explican. Pues, si no hay explicaciones, simplemente Cthulhu. Exploremos un poquito a ver si de pronto hay algo interesante por aquí.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders? I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me.
Esas pinturas no me llaman.
May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
Psicología. Intentemos
What
psicología.
happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
So ask Fuller, he's the eminent doctor. But I would caution you, you'll find his treatments more terrifying than the illnesses he sets out to cure.
That churl no longer takes the trouble to receive me. He sends his secretary to tell me that I cannot see Francis. Me. His own widow. He must think that I am a terrible wife for having abandoned him in such a way. But I only wanted what was best for
El
him.
problema es que Fuller
I'm not
tiene
here
mucha
to
palanca en
condemn
la
you,
isla.
Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it, I would urge you to make the most of your visit. Because I count on ridding myself of that thing as soon as I can.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Esto complica
Did
las
she
cosas.
really care for him after all?
Sí, ella parece bastante calmada para recién haberse dado cuenta de la muerte de su
The day
marido.
the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
¿Mm? Una reconstrucción. Interesante.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even? house of artists.
Que tiene que haber un maldito piano.
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting?
El por qué quería tanto la pintura. A ver qué más encuentro.
He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom?
Obvio que él no sabía.
She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel?
¿Cómo la convenció?
Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins?
Oh. Oh. Él mismo se sacó los ojos.
The Shambler. I need to see it.
Eso es interesante. No jodas. Me va a robar este libro de medicina. ¿Todo bien? Listo, todo bien. Voy a chismosear por acá. Está cerrado. Voy a chismosear por acá. Está cerrado. Voy a
Let's
robarme
see
esto.
what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Oh. Fonógrafo.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes.
Ve al monstruo por todas partes.
I can't take anymore. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Ajá. Cerrado.
A strange Amerindian pendant. Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Ella no quería deshacerse de la pintura.
An old diary.
Esto requiere fuerza. Sí, es inteligente no hacer cosas que dan ocultismo.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
Seamos honestos.
I'm not here to cause trouble, if that's what's worrying you.
Worry me? Don't overestimate yourself. If the last beating wasn't enough for you, I can always give it another go. But as long as you keep out of my way, you're free to carry on with your visit.
All's fair in love and war, I suppose?
Me gustaría enderezar esta pintura. Bueno, creo que no puedo. Y pues esto requiere fuerza y pues yo no estoy hecho para fuerza. Oh. Oh, más medicina.
Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
Ok. Intentemos. Oh, si era suficiente. ¿Qué es esto? Abramos esta puerta, la galería. Esta parte fue la que hizo que a mí me dejara de gustar el juego cuando salió. Vamos a ver, ya vamos a ver por qué.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Y al tipo le gustaban mucho sus pendejadas
Why was
de
he
arte.
so interested in old weapons?
¿Qué es? Ah, aceite para mi lámpara. Ahí está la pintura. ¿Quién sabe por qué él estaba tan obsesionado con esa pintura? Esto sí. Sí, es más aceite. ¿Quién necesita tanto aceite? Bueno, miremoslo. Este momento hizo que me dejara de gustar el juego.
What the hell was that?
Porque es Cthulhu. En el universo de Cthulhu, mostrar el monstruo es suficiente como para aburrirlo. Porque la idea de Cthulhu es dejar los monstruos a la imaginación. Ahora, el bicho creo que es ciego. Y lo que tengo que hacer es encontrar un arma especial y destruir la pintura. Una de estas es. Pero el bicho es muy sensible al sonido.
Damn. This dagger looks different.
Hay que buscar entre todas. Menos mal, creo que recuerdo que es esa. Vamos, andate. Antes de que el idiota de Pierce entre en pánico. Perfecto, nos fuimos. Pero sí, esta parte hizo que yo perdiera todo el interés en el juego. A pesar de que me lo pasé, hacer esto lo convierte en un juego normal de terror y no en Cthulhu. Así que apuñalemos la pintura. Chao, sucia. Tenés una daga en una mano, viejo.
What's the matter with you?
Ah, gracias, Kat.
You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw
Ella no
you
vio nada.
within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
Sí. Tratemos mantenernos cuerdos.
It's nothing. I think I just drank too much.
That goes without saying. If you can't tell the difference between reality and fiction, then you're in real trouble.
I ran, screamed, broke a pane of glass. You were in the next room and you didn't hear a thing.
If I hadn't heard a thing, I'd still be in the other room. The door was
Exacto.
blocked. I got in as soon as I could. I like to look after my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
Entonces tenemos que buscar a un experto en lo oculto, que fue el que le regaló esta daga al coleccionista. ¿Me estás dando esta información gratis?
It's not your style to give me free information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I've still got things to settle with Irene.
No mires la pintura. Oh, ¿alguien ya entró?
Where's the bookseller?
Sí, buena pregunta. ¿Dónde está el dueño de la
An
tienda?
old diary.
De pronto hay algún libro de medicina que me sirva. Santo Grial. Historia de Darkwater. Oh, para la lámpara. Más historia de Darkwater. Oh, medicina.
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's Theosophical movement. Its followers place truth on the same footing as a religion.
Blavatsky? Ni idea de quién es. Dice que es un movimiento filosófico, así que... Otro libro de medicina. ¿Leer el libro? Mejor no. Mantengámonos cuerdos.
What happened here? Let's start over. Where did they break in from? Blood. Seemed like amateur work.
Rompieron la ventana y abrieron la puerta. Oh.
Someone tall left this footprint. A man, probably.
Un hombre alto. Medicina.
No sign of struggle. If the burglar smashed this jar, it wasn't intentionally. Was he hurt then?
No hay señales de batalla. Es raro que él esté herido.
What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work? What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene? What killed all these animals?
Que mató a todos estos animales. ¿Por qué el ladrón se escapó? ¿Qué pasó? Oh, Elder Sign.
What the... Charles Hawkins?
Huh?
What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess?
Ella usó el Elder Sign para proteger el libro. Debe ser el Necronomicon.
Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe.
Lo más probable es que sea el Necronomicon. ¿Algo más? ¿Alguna pista? Oh, ¿qué hubo?
Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case.
Sí, como el esposo de Sarah Hawkins es una mutación de Cthulhu, él es débil al Elder Sign. Cthulhu no, pero pues sus sirvientes sí.
Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Recuerdo esto. Esto es un acertijo. Spot Hidden está activo.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills?
Más píldoras para dormir.
What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
Riley, la ciudad de Cthulhu. Spot Hidden. Oh, más medicina. Oh.
What a strange amulet. I have a feeling I better not touch it.
Los perros. Los perros que solo pueden salir de las esquinas. Eso es peligroso. Oh, mierda. Varias referencias a el mundo de Cthulhu. Bueno, la mitología. ¿Qué es esto?
Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them.
Con esto voy a tener que intentar abrir la caja fuerte. Así que voy a hacerlo. No espero, voy a hacer todo eso fuera de cámara. Y volveré en el próximo capítulo ya listo para abrir la caja fuerte. Nos vemos.